What's going on, guys? This is Casey French, and I just ended up topping the Morgantown Regionals playing Blue-Eyes Primite. Got 5th place, and we're going to go over this deck list to see what we ended up playing. For starters, we played 2 Blue-Eyes. It's pretty standard at this point. 2 Blue-Eyes is enough. You don't want to play 1, like 2 is just good enough. You don't want to play a 3 either because 3 is a bit bricky. So we just played the 2. For the Blue-Eyes starters, we played 3 Sage, 3 Maiden, and 3 Wishes. I found Wishes, though, to be a bit clunky, so I'm probably going to cut it down to 2 and just play the 2 Wishes. I found myself going into game 1, bricking on it quite a bit, and having to discard a hand trap to just get it to resolve. And then if my opponent resolves with Ash, it just makes it that much worse. So I think I'm just going to cut this down to 2. There was times in games 2 and 3 I actually sided the 1 out, so that way I wasn't drawing multiples or drawing it plus like 4 hand traps. So then we played the 1 Roar. Roar's just made just for the combo to be able to special summon Blue-Eyes and extend. Then we played the 1 Mausoleum for the Link 1 Search, 1 True Light, and then 1 Majesty. This card puts in so much work. Being able to non-targeting just pop 1 card or 2 if you have 2 Blue-Eyes in the grave or on the field is just, it's insane. And being able to reset this with Tyrant also is it's just game winning. Whenever you're able to loop this card with Tyrant, you're going to pretty much win the game at that point because it's just too much for your opponent to handle. That's it for the Blue-Eyes stuff. For the Primite, we had 3 Barrel, 3 Lordly Load, and 1 Drill Beam. I feel like this is pretty standard. You don't want to play any more, any less. I do, going second, side the 1 Load, just because Load doesn't necessarily do anything going second. But other than that, I mean, this is pretty standard for like going first and stuff. So for the hand traps, we did play 1 Magnemite. You got to play it for the combo. For the Seals, Seals is just too valuable for this instance. Being able to just search your Barrel Dragon end phase is just, it's really nice. Then we got 3 Ash, 3 Effect Veiler, 3 Foolos, 3 Imperm, 3 Purge, and then we did play 3 Droplet as a going second option / going first because I wasn't guaranteed to go first game 1, so I wanted to make sure I had something to be able to stop my opponents, especially for like Ryzeal, Fiendsmith, Ryzeal, Mitsurugi. Being able to just stop Detonate tracks is just, it's so good, so valuable.
Hey, yo, no nib?
No nib. I didn't play nib in the main. I didn't even play nib in the side either, just because I wanted to maximize cards like Droplet and things like that to be able to just stop the Detonator, because I felt like nib wasn't doing enough, and there's times when I drew nib and nothing else. And to me, that just plays into talents a whole lot more, and it's not even impactful. So, and a lot of players are even playing around it. So there's times when, I didn't even have to do anything. They're just playing around nib, and their board is subpar just because they think I have it, and I never really did. So it just made it that much easier for me. For the extra deck, though, we are playing 2 Spirit. It's your Field Spell Searcher. I was playing 1 for a little while, but the 1 just was not enough. I felt like the 2 was a little bit more impactful because a lot of times the first one, 90% of the time, would get stopped. So having the second one was just that much better. And even if it didn't get stopped, going into the second turn, it was better just to be able to just send it away, summon Blue-Eyes from grave, trigger Maiden, and things like that, just keep comboing. So we do play 1 Seals. You just got to play it for the combo. Seals is insane. People think, Seals pass, you joke around with it. But honestly, though, there's times when you just Seals pass with 2 or 3 back row is just good enough, to be honest. And then 1 Lina. This card is insane. Being able to steal your opponent's Detonator from the graveyard it almost shouldn't even be legal. Because there's times when you just steal the Detonator and then you go Detonator effect to attach from your grave.
Hey, yo!
So it's low-key insane. And there's a play where you just do that, crash your Lina into their duo drive, and then search for a maiden, and then you just combo off from there. So you have a detonator to basically insulate your plays and end up going full combo in the process. So for the synchros, we do play triple Spirit Dragon. I feel like 3 is probably right. You could get away with playing 2, but I value Spirit way too much. I love Spirit. I love the graveyard negation effect because it stops most of the any graveyard shenanigans with Ryzeal, even with some Malice stuff.
Fiendsmith.
It does stop the Fiendsmith stuff, and it's really good stopping the whatever the little guy.
Lurie.
The Lurie, yeah. It just stops the Lurie. It's really good stopping Lurie. Really good stopping the aggregator as well, because when they go etch pitch aggregator, being able to just stop that is really nice as well. If they don't end up targeting the Spirit, which if they do target the Spirit, we have cards to deal with that too, with the Neo Ultimate and things like that. So we did play 1 Black Rose Moonlight. This card's mostly just for the mirror match, and never really for anything else. You could say it's good for the Fiendsmith stuff for like Desiree, but like if they do the Desiree play, most of the time they're gonna have the Link 2 and the Link 3 Agnum Day to where it can't be targeted. So like this card just doesn't. To me it just doesn't do enough anyways. If they're that far ahead. So, but just mostly for the mirror match. 1 Lightstorm Dragon for back row decks mostly. This card's insane for back row decks because it's always going to pop a card when it summons, because it just says use the amount of normal monsters engraved +1 and pop that many cards on the field, which is nice. So if you don't even have a normal monster in the graveyard, you can still pop at least a card on the field that's a back row.
Blue-Eyes card, literally.
Yeah, it's a inherent Blue-Eyes card. It's insane. We did play double Spirit Dragon, Ultimate Spirit. You could probably cut this down to 1. I'm probably going to cut this down to 1 from here on out. I only played 2 because we did play the Crimson Dragon package with Crimson Dragon, the Cypher, and we did play Cosmic Blazar. This was a last-minute change. I was playing another card. I was playing something a little bit spicier. I won't reveal it at the moment because we are going to be going to the Indie Regional, and I don't want to reveal any spicy stuff quite yet. But this card, it was just good for certain matchups for having an Omni Negate and things like that. But I never really went into the Crimson Dragon play. You can get away with not even playing it because there was only one time when I made double Spirit, and I didn't even get to go to the Crimson play because they just scooped because they knew that they could not play through it. So yeah, we just... and then for the round of the extra deck, we did play 1 Neo and then 1 Tyrant Dragon to round out the extra deck. Like I said, Tyrant is just an insane card, and a lot of times people don't read your cards. Typical Yu-Gi-Oh players, even me, I don't read cards. I'm not very good at reading cards, but there's times when like you equip the Neo Blue-Eyes and then you put it in the grave and your opponent forgets that this card protects your Blue-Eyes cards from being targeted by negating it and destroying it, which is insane. So that's it for the extra deck. For the side deck, we did play triple Meows and triple Lancia.
We hate Malice!
Yeah, no, this has got to be almost a standard for Malice. You could argue playing like playing the Chaos Hunter, but like right now the Malice players are going into the Cerberus play, to where they just pop it and they just keep going. So yeah, they might cross this out. They might, call by it or whatever. But having 6 of these versus 4 of theirs, they better have it at this point. You use these, they just better have it. And then for rounding out the hand traps that I played in the side, we did play 3 Droll. This is mostly for Ryzeal Fiendsmith, the Ryzeal Mitsurugi, and for Blue-Eyes. And for also Fire King, because ironically I played Fire King round 1. And this card went super hard games 2 and 3. But yeah, it was just really good. I wanted to have an impactful hand trap in the deck. There was a thought for me to just side the Nibiru's instead, but I felt like the Nibiru's I found just not very impactful unless you had 1 to 2 other hand traps to pair with it. We did play a lot of hand traps in the main deck, but there was times when I just drew nib and it wasn't very impactful. So like if I drew this and only this, I knew that my turn, I was going to be able to play on my turn. And they weren't, their board was going to be subpar. So we did play triple tactics talent. People were probably wondering like, where was this at in the main deck? I didn't want to main this just for the simple reason I wanted to have an out to the detonator in case I went second, and I have a bad habit of not winning dice rolls. So this card doesn't necessarily do anything going second for me, but I wanted to have this for guaranteed going first, paired up with Solemn Strike. Solemn Strike is probably one of the most insane going first cards at this moment. This ended up winning me the 8th round, game 3 against Mitsurugi Raiziel. Shout out to that player. He kept me on my toes the whole entire time. But yeah, this card had this set with an imperm, and the moment that this card resolved, he just scooped. He couldn't play anything else. He wasn't anticipating this to be in the back row. He was anticipating probably a purge or another imperm or something like that, and he just wasn't ready for the for strike, which ended up just winning me the game. So this card is insane. That's it for the deck profile. Big shout outs to Deontay behind the camera.
Hello.
He ended up loaning me the Fool losses. Shout outs to Brian Rose, to Connor, for playing at locals, testing with me, getting me helping ready for this regional. And that's about it. Casey French signing off.